Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the Toilet Rampart Guide. In this episode, we will look at Rampart's abilities in detail. This video is for those who are not very familiar with Rampart, so if you already have, say, 10 hours or 20 hours on Rampart, then you can skip this episode and move on to episode 3. So, let's begin. So, to get familiar with Rampart, the best thing to do is to first go into the firing range. And then you can open inventory, go to legend, and you can see a brief description of her abilities. So her kit is not that complicated, but there are some buttons or functions that is not included in the description. So that is what we are going to go through in this episode. Now let's begin with her passive. Her passive is called the Modded Loader, and it gives LMGs and her minigun a 15% larger magazine as well as 25% faster reload. And when we are talking about LMGs, we are referring to light machine guns, which are the L-Star, which is in the care package for now. We have the Devotion, we have the Rampage, and we have the Spitfire. Now let's look at Rampart's tactical ability, the Amped Cover. When you place down a wall like this, it does two things. The first thing is that it boosts damage by 20% if you are shooting from the blue side. And the second thing is that it blocks damage from the orange side. The orange side will have a HP of 175 and the base will have a HP of 400. Let's look at the things that the game didn't tell you. So the first thing is that you cannot amp a bullet more than once. If you try to do so, it will break the second, the third, and actually all the walls after the first wall, instantly, regardless of distance or the health of the wall itself. It is always just one shot, and the second wall, the third wall will be gone. The second thing is that walls are very fragile when they are building up. So you see, when you place down a wall, it takes some time to fully deploy.
Up some amped cover.
So during this time period, the walls are very fragile. The base will have 120 health and it is very easy to break.
Up some amped cover.
So you need to be careful. If the enemies are looking at you, then they can break your walls very easily and you will lose a wall for nothing. Rampart's tactical has a special refund function. When you place down a wall, it consumes one charge.
Putting up some amped cover.
But if you press the character utility function, you can pick up the cover and you will have one charge back. This only works on undamaged cover. So if the cover took some damage, you can see the indicator turns from blue to orange and the text turns from pick up to destroy. So when you press the character utility function, this time you can only destroy the cover. It will not give you back a charge. And lastly, a quick tip, you can also pick up your cover while you are reloading.
Get my cover out of.
Now let's move on to Rampart's ultimate ability, Sheila. Sheila is a powerful minigun that has a damage per second, DPS, for up to 280. That's 30% higher than the R99 and 60% higher than the R301. It has 173 rounds per mag, and that is enough for it to keep firing for almost 9 seconds. So obviously such a powerful weapon has its own drawbacks. The first drawback of Sheila is that it is slow in several ways. Number one, it needs some time to wind up before actually shooting. Number 2, when you are winding up Sheila and when you are shooting, you will be moving extremely slowly. So you will be an easy target if you are not careful. And the third thing is that the first few rounds of Sheila is always scattered. You can look at the crosshair of Sheila. The square indicates the spread of the rounds. So you can see the rounds are scattered. That means your first few rounds are probably not gonna hit your target, and the spread will tighten as you shoot. But once you stop shooting, the spread will reset and you'll have to shoot again. Sheila is a very high profile weapon. If you are using Sheila, you will be giving out a red laser pointed at where you are looking, so your enemies will know that you are looking at them. And also, it makes this very loud noise, and the bullet trails are very obvious, so you will certainly catch your enemy's attention once you start firing, and they might just focus on you instead of your teammates. And combined with the slow moving speed, you will be dead in no time if you are not careful. Now let's look at the detailed mechanism of Sheila. So number 1 is that you can keep Sheila spinning by holding down the ADS button. By doing so, Sheila will be always ready to fire. However, you will also be moving very slowly, so be careful when you're using this function. So another feature of Sheila is that you can always put it down on ground. Let's say, oh no, I only have 84 rounds left in mobile Sheila. So what I can do is I put it into placement mode, put it down.
Hello, Sheila. Oh, they've never seen a girl like you.
And no matter how many ammo you have left in mobile Sheila, once you put it down, the stationary Sheila will always have a full magazine.
Hey, don't run now! Get your butts back here!
By the way, stationary Sheila can only cover an angle of 180 degrees, so make sure you are facing the right direction when you are placing down Sheila.
Don't run now! Get your butts back here! You're gonna miss all the fun!
Sheila has a very useful feature. When you are using Sheila midway and you haven't used the whole mag yet, you can just put it back to cooldown by pressing the toggle fire mode button, which is this one. So what it does is it puts Sheila back to cooldown directly based on the ammo you have left in mobile Sheila. If you put it back when Sheila has 130 in its magazine, the cooldown will start from 75%, which is the maximum, and any lower than that, it will be proportional to how many bullets you have left in mobile Sheila. And the last thing about Sheila is that stationary Sheila is best for long-range application, and here's why. So number 1, when you're using Sheila, you can use the toggle zoom button to bring up the optic, and when you are using mobile Sheila, the zoom is about 2 times, while when you're using stationary Sheila, the zoom is about 3 times. And secondly, when you're using stationary Sheila, the recoil is slightly less than mobile Sheila, so it is easier to control for long-range targets. And number 3 is that you can reload stationary Sheila, but you cannot reload mobile Sheila. So basically you have 3 bullets to spray on far enemies, making stationary Sheila the best option for long-range engagement. And that's it. This is the end of episode 2. I hope you have learned the details of operating Rampart. Do you have any questions? Let me know in the comments and I'll answer as much as I can. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you in the next episode. In episode 3, we will be looking at Rampart's passive as well as how to make use of it. And a quick spoiler is that you don't really need to care too much about her passive, but more on that on episode 3. So see you there. Bye.